If you deep condition your hair under a dryer or using some type of form of heat, is the best way to go, because the heat is going to open up the cuticles of your hair to let that moisture slide in there. And when I say it's going to slide in there, it's going to slide in there like somebody thirsty in your DMs, okay? It's in there. Hey everybody, it's your girl Licia and welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to do a natural hair tip video, and this video is just mainly some tips that I have learned over my 2+ years of being natural and transitioning and everything like that. So yeah, so if you have any other video suggestions, you have any other tips that I don't mention in this video, make sure you leave it in the comment section. And also, once you're gonna hit that subscribe button, pound it, go ahead, hit that subscribe button down there, somewhere down there, and then like the video, and we're gonna slide right into it right now, okay? Okay, so I have my tips written down on this little notepad right here. And yeah, so we're gonna start off with number 1, which I feel like is kind of very important to make sure you do this, and it is deep conditioning your hair. And it's very important because I feel like a lot of people get confused on what you're deep conditioning for, and I don't really feel like people explaining a lot. Like in other videos that I have watched, people just be like they finna deep condition their hair, or they do it, or they recommend deep conditioners, but they don't explain what deep conditioning does for your hair. So basically, deep conditioning is good to reestablish the moisture in your hair and bring back moisture to your hair, because it's very important, especially if your hair is always dry. It has a tendency to break. It can be a lot to do with lacking moisture. So deep conditioning your hair often, not too often, because too much moisture is a bad thing, and you don't want that, because too much moisture can make your hair really soft and can cause damage, as well as not enough moisture. So you gotta have to find the even balance between the two. So yeah, it's very important to have moisture in your hair and make sure that your hair is moisturized. Okay, and my next tip is kind of can be confused with deep conditioner, and is protein treatments. Okay, so protein treatment and deep conditioner are often get confused because people, just like I said, people don't explain what a deep conditioning does. People don't explain what a protein treatment do. So basically, a protein treatment is similar to it, but it's not. Deep conditioner reestablishes moisture, and a protein treatment reestablishes the protein in your hair, because your hair is made up with proteins like keratin and things like that, and it has the protein in it. So doing things like heat styling your hair, constantly messing with your hair, you have to understand that the things that you do to your hair affects it more than you can see. So what you need to do is you need to do protein treatments, but you don't need to do protein treatments as often as you do a deep conditioner, because you can do a protein treatment twice a month, but you can do a deep conditioner every week, because your hair loses moisture faster than lose protein. And the more protein you have in your hair is not good, because you can have too much protein just like you can have too much moisture. And too much protein can make your hair hard, for one, and it could be a reason that you think your hair could be feeling stiff and stuff like that. So yeah, that's not good. And yeah, if it gets too hard, it can break off your hair too, so be aware of that. Okay, so my next thing on this list is building a regimen for your hair. Make sure you get yourself into a regimen, a constant regimen that you stick to. And basically, if you don't know what a regimen is, it's like a routine. It's like a fancy way of saying a routine. A regimen that you could use is basically shampooing your hair once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on how often you need to shampoo your hair. That's really up to your hair preference and the texture and how your hair works. And yeah, personally, I shampoo my hair once a week, or I can stretch it to 2 weeks if I can, unless I have my hair in a style or braids or something like that. that's tucked away where I don't have to shampoo it as often. But yeah, so I would deep condition my hair once a week. I would wash my hair probably once a week to once every 2 weeks, or and I would do a protein treatment every other week, probably skipping the week in between, because I try to do protein treatments twice a month. So yeah, that's a good regimen. Also, something like that. Okay, and for tip number 4, because that's what we on right now. Tip number 4 is very important as well as the other 3, the first 3, but it's not like a product or something you do. It's detangling. Detangling is very important when it comes to natural hair. And if you are a newly natural or you're a transitioner, this is very, very important for you, because it's a very, very, very apparent difference between relaxed hair and natural hair. And if you're transitioning, you need to realize that your hair has 2 different textures right now. And so you cannot just rake a comb through your hair like you could, or like you shouldn't do that anyway. But if you were doing it with your relaxed hair, you don't need to do that when you transition, because your hair has 2 different textures. Because you have 2 different textures in your hair, then that making it easier for the line of demarcation between the 2 textures. When the textures meet, that's the line of demarcation. So when you're doing that, it's easy to break right there. I recommend trying finger detangling if you haven't, because I do finger detangling almost all the time, and you notice a bigger difference between when you're finger detangling and when you're using a comb, or Y2 comb, or like a diamond brush or something. Yeah, so be more aware of what you're doing. Try finger detangling. If you just don't have the patience for it, go a little bit slower. Lighten up with your hand when you comb your hair, sis, because just hear me out, sis. Okay, but yeah, so try finger detangling. It works easier. And then also, when detangling, never detangle on dry hair. That is the quickest way to result in breakage, I promise. And yeah, so make sure when you're detangling your hair, add a little conditioner. Get you a spray bottle, spray bottle filled with water and half conditioner. You good. That's your leave-in right there, sis. And you spray it in, and you just, slide. Your fingers gonna glide through, especially if it's a conditioner with a lot of slip. So number 5 on the list is the materials you use on your hair. When I say materials, I'm saying, what are you sleeping when you go to sleep? What are you putting on your hair to go to sleep? What are you sleeping on if you don't put your hair? When you get done washing your hair after shower, however you wash your hair, what are you drying your hair off with? I feel like people grab towels, because a lot of people don't. That's just what they do. When you're at the salon, they grab a towel for you. When you at home, you grabbing a towel. Okay, so if you're going to use a towel, I recommend using the microfiber towel. It's just easier and it's more gentle on your hair. What I use on my hair to dry it off is using a cotton t-shirt. It can be any shirt, just a cotton t-shirt. If it has something on it, flip it inside out and just use that. But it's just I just say use a cotton t-shirt. That's the easiest, cheapest, safest way to go to avoid causing breakage on your hair, because it's a smooth surface. You don't have anything constantly like causing breakage, getting snagged on or anything like that, and then you won't have hair on your towels when you get done. So it's a win-win situation. You saving money, and that's it. Like, you saving money and you saving your hair. So it's nothing better than that to me. I don't feel like it can get any better than that. So yeah, that's therefore using a cotton t-shirt to dry your hair off at the shower or when you're done washing it. Next thing I would say is, when you're going to sleep, what are you putting on your hair? If you don't like sleeping with anything on your hair, try getting a satin or silk pillowcase, because the cotton, just like a cotton t-shirt is good to dry your hair off when you get out the shower, when you're done washing it, a cotton pillowcase is going to continue to dry your hair. And you sleeping on a cotton pillowcase, you just breaking your hair off right there. And So yeah, try sleeping on a satin pillowcase or a silk pillowcase. You can find them pretty much anywhere. They're not that expensive. The one I have is inexpensive. I got it from the beauty supply store. You can find some, I think Sally's have them, or you can try to find one at your local beauty supply store, or you can order one from like Amazon or something. I'm pretty sure they have them everywhere. So yeah, be aware of that. And also, if you want to sleep with a bonnet, try a silk bonnet. That's the obvious. A silk bonnet, satin scarf, silk scarves. There. You can find those at Walmart, Sally's, beauty supply stores. You can get them. So the next item on my list, I think I'm on number 6 right now. So I would say protective styling. Protective styles, protective styles, protective styles. So protective styling is basically you are tucking your ends away, tucking your hair away, you're keeping your hands out your hair. You're doing something to protect your hair. Ergo the name protective styles. So basically protective styling could be anything from box braids, singly twists, the feeding braids, anything that is basically a style that you don't have your hands in your head. Basically. You can easily like look this up on Pinterest if you need like styling ideas, or you can YouTube it as well. You don't have to like have braids or anything for it to be a protective style. You can do protective styles with your hair easily. All you have to do, it can be like a bun style, and you can just tuck your ends of your hair in, and you good. Like that's your protective style. So it's plenty. It's like 1,000 and something videos. Like it's a lot of videos on YouTube for protective styling. But if you want me to do a protective style tutorial on different styles, just let me know and I'll drop that too. You know, it ain't nothing but a thing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so just let me know in the comment section what y'all want to see, what kind of styles you want to see, quick protective styles or whatever. Just let me know. So number 7 is minimal heat. Minimal heat. So in order for your hair to grow and thrive and just be healthy, I'm not gonna say no heat, because I know a lot of people that do that, and sometimes you catch them nights, especially if you're a student or something like that, or you're just busy and you always working and stuff like that. You don't have time to constantly like wait on your hair to air dry or something like that. Sometimes you gotta pop out the blow dryer or do something involving heat. So I'm not gonna say no heat, but minimal heat, being honest, minimal heat is gonna help your hair grow. I'm not gonna recommend anything I don't do, because I know the effects it has. So basically what I'm saying is no heat. Try limiting using heat to as little as possible. If you can go a year without straightening your hair or longer, do that. If you can go, but I'm not gonna say don't straighten your hair anymore, because sometimes you want that switch up. But however, I would say try to stretch it out as long as you can. Don't constantly fight on your hair, put heat on your hair, because that's not good. That's gonna cause heat damage, which you don't want that, because you cannot repair heat damage. Despite the popular opinion, only way you can get rid of heat damage is if you cut that. So y'all can stop trying to do those little tricks. The little mayonnaise, it don't work. You just gotta cut it off, sis. I still say try, if you want to blow dry your hair, blow dry your hair. Just do it on a cooler setting and use a heat protectant. Yeah, basically. So try to limit your amount of heat use as small as possible as you can. When I'm saying that, understanding that people have different things they have to do, they have to adjust to different lifestyles. I don't have the same lifestyle everybody else. I can't tell you to stop doing that if you just have to do that, but I'm saying it's ways to work around it. It's plenty of ways to stretch your hair out without blow drying your hair. And yeah, so I just say, if you are in a tough situation where you in a rush, go ahead, don't stress yourself out trying to find a quick way to avoid that if you don't have the time for it. But if you do have the time and you have a lenient schedule or something like that, where you can take that day or two to let your hair air dry in some braids or something like that to stretch it out, go ahead. But if you can't, I understand, that's okay. You're not getting any like hate because you have to blow dry your hair. It's okay, but you have to take in consideration that you constantly doing something like that can cause heat damage to your hair. So be mindful. Tip number 8 is trimming your hair. You don't have to trim your hair every month, every 2 months. I say every 3 or 4 months. If they're at the most, do it at least twice a year. But I say 3 or 4 months, 3 times a year, something like that. But you don't have to trim your hair every month or so, because you're doing that, you're not seeing any growth. Like, you cutting the growth that you're getting, because your hair, usually hair grows to like an inch or a half an inch a month. Maybe. That's not guaranteed. It depends on you, your body, how it works. So yeah, trimming your hair, especially when you have split ends, when you have heat damage, and when you're transitioning, that's a good way to see progress, because especially if you have split ends, because not trimming split ends only gonna make the situation worse. I promise. It's only gonna make the situation worse. So the next thing on the list is to be aware of the products you use and their ingredients. And when I say the ingredients, I'm talking about you need to stay away from sulfates. That's why it's good to use a sulfate-free shampoo, because the sulfates will strip your hair of moisture. And they will also, if you have color, it will most likely strip your color too. So be aware of that when you're using sulfate. When you're using shampoos, make sure you check the ingredients on the shampoo. And also, most of the time when shampoos are sulfate free, they'll say it on the front of the bottle. So yeah. And also, mineral oil and petroleum, those 2 things are not good for your hair at all. Using those, and they are in a lot of products. Like, I promise, they're in a lot of products. So those are not doing anything. Especially the products that's supposed to moisturize your hair. If they have mineral oil and petroleum in there, they're not moisturizing your hair. They're just covering your hair. So the next thing on my list is sectioning your hair, working in sections, all of that. Okay, so just like you need to take your time with detangling your hair, using sections to detangle your hair or do anything to your hair, period, makes the job so much easier. And the next thing on my list is patience. Having patience. If you do not have the patience to take care of your hair, think about this twice before you just jump into doing your own natural hair or doing anything to your hair, period, if you're natural. Because coming from having a relaxer to being natural is 2 different things. And a lot of people don't realize this when they decide to transition, is they transitioning because they see, like, you can see what other people have, how the other people's hair looks, but you're not seeing the time that it takes to get this style to come out right. Whatever, that bantu knot to be popping, that twist out to be popping, that braid out to be popping, them curls to be popping, period. They don't see that time. They just see the style and they're like, oh, I want that. Okay, but do you have the time to do that, is the question. My next tip on the list is porosity. Knowing your porosity and everything good like that. So porosity is basically how well your hair absorbs moisture. If you have a high porosity, that means your hair gains moisture fast, but it loses it as fast as it gains it. So you have to know. You need to use high porosity products that cater to high porosity. You need to understand how to deal with your high porosity hair if you're struggling with it. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of tutorials on YouTube that can help you with people who have high porosity hair. And yeah, so make sure you check those out. I don't have high porosity hair, so I don't know how to cater to that really like this, because I think just make sure you are moisturizing your hair. You have a good moisturizer. So I would say that you have a good moisturizer and you locking the moisture in your hair. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. And then low porosity hair is not being able to gain moisture so quickly, absorb it so quickly, but when it's in there, it's in there. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so high porosity hair, I recommend just finding a good moisturizer and using a good oil to seal that moisture in. Low porosity hair people, this is what I recommend, that you deep condition your hair, moisturize your hair. If you deep condition your hair under a dryer or using some type of form of heat, is the best way to go, because the heat is going to open up the cuticles of your hair to let that moisture slide in there. And when I say it's going to slide in there, it's going to slide in there like somebody thirsty in your DMs, okay? It's in there. High porosity, low porosity, and I bet you like, wait, so it's on 2 options? No, it's the middle, and it's normal porosity, which means it absorbs moisture and it loses moisture at an even pace, not too quickly, not too slowly, all around good basically. And yeah, going into hair growth and having healthy hair, a lot of companies have vitamins, hair vitamins. It's like everybody got vitamins now, sis. They just don't want to match. Okay, everybody has vitamins. I'm pretty sure y'all have heard of pretty much all of them. They're popular. It's a popular thing. But if you don't want to spend your money on the $20 bottle, $20 plus bottle of hair vitamins from like Sugar Bear Hair or Hairfinity or The Main Choice or whatever, you can easily go to the store. Go to your local Walmart. Okay? Go to your local Walmart. Get the Nature Hair Gummies. You can get these right here. If you don't like taking like the actual pills and stuff like that, okay, you can get these. These are gummies, and they have biotin in it. And you can also get like regular biotin. It doesn't taste wonderful, spectacular, whatever. It's a vitamin, so what you expect. But it's vitamins out there that are cheaper than most of these hair companies or hair care companies basically that they have that are selling. Do they work? Yes, when I was transitioning, I took biotin, and I feel like it helped me. It helped my hair growth, and I've been taking these too, and I feel like they help my hair growth as well. So it's just a trial and everything. It's no guarantee that's gonna work for you, because they work for me, but you can try and see if you haven't already tried them. And if you have tried them, let me know in the comments below. So the next thing on my list is products. Okay, so just because their product works for them doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. And that's with that's especially with transitioning hair. Okay, look, when transitioning hair, if their products work for you, good. Okay, if their products work for you, good. When you transition it, that's wonderful. It's no guarantee that once you big chop, that product may not work for you. So it's like you have to start all over. Does it get frustrating? Yes. Does it get expensive? Yes. The last tip I have for you is, it's important. It goes along with washing your hair and stuff like that. Okay, so when you're shampooing your hair, I don't know, a lot of you may have heard this before, but it's the hot water versus cold water kind of thing. Okay, so when you're shampooing your hair, you need to shampoo your hair with warm to hot water, because it's going to cleanse your scalp. Using hot water, yeah, so when you are shampooing your hair, shampoo your hair with warmer water. When you're conditioning your hair, rinse the condition out with cooler water, because when you're shampooing your hair to get the buildup and the dirt and the products and everything off your scalp. That's why you need to use hot water or warm water, whatever, like the warm temperature that you like on your hair, because it's going to help get the buildup and products off your scalp, right? Okay. And so when you're conditioning your hair, conditioner is replenishing the moisture in your hair. Okay, so if you rinse that conditioner out with hot water, it's just like you cleansing your scalp again. It's just like you cleansing your scalp again. So you rinsing out the product, all the moisture that you just put in with the conditioner, you rinsing it back out. Okay, so when you condition your hair, rinse it out with cold water or cool water, because it's going to lock that moisture in. Okay. The last thing I want to say, not necessarily a tip, but this is just a word of advice. Basically, what I'm saying is, love your natural hair through the good and the bad, because love your hair, period. Whether you're natural, relaxed, transitioning, whatever. Your hair is going to go through stages in life, just like you go through stages in life. Your hair, you might have those bad days. You're going to have bomb days where you just want to take 1,000 pictures. Just embrace your hair. Do not be envious of anybody else's hair. Don't be envious of anybody else, period. Their style, whatever. Don't envy anybody else. Anyway, just love who you are. Embrace your natural curls. Embrace your natural hair. Embrace you. Embrace your body. Just love yourself, and you're gonna flourish regardless of what anybody says or what anybody does. So yeah, basically that's all I'm saying. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any other comments or tips you want to say, make sure you leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, make sure you check out my last couple videos. They're going to be somewhere up in here somewhere, as well as my face. You can click subscribe. So yeah, thank you for watching.